Today I'm going to be showing you one of my fastest science victories I've ever achieved in Civilization 6. In fact, my fastest I've ever achieved. And it's not with a character you would expect to achieve it with. I achieved this victory, scientific victory, on standard speed in 185 turns with Kristina. Kristina's not great for science. She's got a couple of bonuses, a little bit of extra great scientist points, a couple extra great engineer points, but really, she thrives for cultural victory with the open air museum and the additional government plausibility in the Queen's bibliothèque, and maybe for domination with Carolinian. But she's not known for science. So how did I do it? Well, to start, we're going to show you how to set up the game. So I'm using a mod called Better Balanced Map Mod, not the Better Balanced Game Mod. Both of those mods are common in multiplayer setups, and what they really do is they take away a lot of the bullcrap which can mess up your game from the onset. For example, you can choose the minimum distance between where you spawn with another AI player. So you're not going to get spawned 6 tiles away from the enemy, the deity AI, and they're not going to send warriors at you to kill you instantaneously. So setting this to 12, really good. You can edit things like the sea level, the rainfall, so that you're getting a lot of forests, a lot of hills, things like that. Another thing that BBG does is it makes the city-states spawn closer to the edge of the map in general, such that you don't have city-states taking up all the valuable land that you want to settle yourself. Another thing it does, which is really cool, is that all that desert that you commonly get in your first, where your second or third city would be, is a big patch of desert. Did that ever happen to you? Well, that's gone with Better Balanced Map Mod. That's gone, so again, basically all of the stuff that just makes the game frustrating and difficult to play, a lot of that's gone. It's not going to give you the best start ever in terms of you're not spawning next to natural wonders every time, but you're spawning in a reasonable, you're never going to get kind of cheesed out of a game by some stuff which is annoying. And so with all that said, we've also adjusted some of the city-states so that we have more scientific city-states, etc. And of course, the only game mode that is legitimate, in my opinion, is the Barbarian Clans mode. Everything else is Fantasyland and doesn't count. So with that being said, let's see if we can win this game really fast. Let's jump in. Okay, so we pop in as Sweden with our Better Balanced map, and we take a look at our starting location, and this looks pretty good to me. We've got 2 animal husbandry luxuries. We got the truffles right there. We can work a 2-2 right away. We can get the Camp Pantheon, which gives +1 food and production on those 2 tiles. So we are probably going to settle in place and work both of those amazing truffles tiles. That looks really good to me. No complaints at all from this start. This looks pretty great. Okay, so we found the first barb camp. We're going to get our scout going. We are working towards animal husbandry first because we're going to get a quick builder and improve the tiles around our city. We are looking around. We're going to go 2 scouts probably into a builder and try to figure out the rest of this map. Notice that there is no desert. There's no desert around our capital. Isn't that lovely? That is because of BBG. A normal map, you would probably already see a big patch of desert somewhere in your settleable lands, probably 80% chance at least, but because this map is balanced nicely and it's kind of like a high roll, good spawn, we're doing just fine. We got animal husbandry right away, and gonna send this scout north and then work on that builder because we've just got a lot of value from that builder. Usually I'll go settler first, but in this case builder seems to make sense as we have a couple of great things to improve. And notice that the first thing we go for is we're going to go ahead and got that, then we're going to click on currency. And that's an adjustment to my playstyle. I am not usually doing that, but seeing the multiplayer community have so much success going for currency very early and placing those districts, those commercial hub districts really early has changed my mind about things. Even on standard speed, you might get 1 or 2 additional techs on your way to currency, and that's it. In this case, we're probably just going to get animal husbandry before we go right to currency. And that is going to allow you to get commercial hubs very early and all of your expands. And we will just see how good that feels. Newsflash, it feels pretty good. So as you can see, we are going to, over the end turn, we're going to meet another civilization. We'll talk about this strategy. We're going to not show them where our city is, but do send them a delegation. This way they don't know where your capital is, but they also get that opinion bonus. It doesn't look like there's a malice for not showing them where your capital is. You would think there would be, but there isn't, so just don't show them. And then they probably won't attack you. So that is another little modification I've been making to the game. So notice that we've got a scout looking at our capital, and that would usually be really, really bad. It's still not great, but in this mod, actually, my understanding is that the barbarians do not spawn as aggressively. You see 2 scouts come in and peek our capital. That is usually a death sentence. That's usually the end of the game. Just restart, because you're going to see 10 horsemen storming your city. You're never going to have a tile improved. The rest of the game, basically, and you'll waste all your early production and gold clearing that out. My understanding is that in this mod, they've toned down barbarians a bit so that it's not as oppressive. It's probably how it should be. I think it spawns like 1 or 2 barbarians, which is enough to be annoying, but not enough to ruin your game. I think it switches the difficulty over to the other civilizations. You see getting the relic. Also really, really good there. Got that relic. Huge for this early game. It means we're going to get our Pantheon very quickly, and that's just all around a wonderful thing. We'll be able to sell it later for a lot of gold. So obviously part of the recipe for success of finding a great start is getting up that relic early. There we find Phoenicia. Another great find. Again, send that delegation, but don't show her where the capital city is. As you can see, we spotted our second great bit of fortune. Phoenicia has sent an unescorted settler on its way, and I'm considering at this point if I should do it or not, and I think I decide I'm going to do it. I'm going to take that settler just for free, and that's so good. It's the best way to get a settler because it also doesn't increase the production of your own settlers. It's just really good, and if you think you can get away with it, you should do it. In this case, they're far enough away, and also a friendly enough civ in general that it justifies it. If they were your next door neighbor and they could actually do something about it in 10 turns, maybe you would not take that settler. But they're so far away because the map has spawned the civs appropriately distanced that it's not a big issue. And we just get that free value. You need a little bit of luck like that to have a great game. And there was some of ours. So as we can see in a second here, we're going to unlock free trade, and in this household we do not forget to switch our policies when we can. We'll take that production instead of that faith since we have that relic, and I believe we already have our pantheon, so that's great. We're just running away with this settler, as you can see, and we are going to buy our first trade route so that we can boost currency. You can see that's what's queued up right now. Even though it takes so long to research, we definitely want to still have it the first thing that gets researched, our first district that we build. So we'll buy that trade route whenever we can. As you can see, I got my scout stuck in the borders of Venice. Really unfortunate. I did get a free scout, however, this game, so not the worst thing in the world, but it's going to be a while before I can let him out. He will be stuck there for a very long time. Very sad, but we do settle our third city on a new continent, so that's a little bit of extra error score. Immediately, a scout wants to attack us. Not so great, but we're going to get that monument. And you see in our second city, we're queuing up a builder because we get a lot of value from that early builder there as well, because of our pantheon, because there's horses nearby. Basically, you know, we're always trying to maximize the amount of gold and production that we can get in the early game, really throughout the game, most of the game. But gold for us is also selling to the AI, so we've sold an extra luxury resource or two. We're going to settle on a luxury so we don't go low on amenities. All these little things in the early game you should be considering that really impact things like how you settle cities and when to get builders, when not to. It should always play a part in your decision making. So as you can see, I'm trying to get era score. I couldn't get era score for the next age, but I did get the relic, and I was able to sell it for full price. So kind of sucks that I don't get era score, but probably better, honestly, to just sell that relic and not even have to worry about the faith gen. So one away really sucks, but as you'll see, that first era score is not the most important. So like getting that first golden age is really nice, but not the most important one. The second one's the most important one. So missing the first one is sometimes better, because getting that second one, if you hit the first one, is damn near impossible. If you don't have some special civ bonuses, it's really, really hard. You have to really focus on it, and it can actually kind of ruin the rest of your game when you want to be settling cities and getting workers built and all that fun stuff. So sometimes missing that first one really isn't so bad, as we'll see here. So as you can see here, we're going to take our time and place down some cities and try to figure out our empire. We're on 5 cities soon in a second here, and we're going to just take some time to figure out where our cities are going to go. Our first couple anyway. I misplaced that one right there. Realized I probably have to go further up with that. Probably on that sheep, if I remember correctly. Yeah, right on that sheep. So that goes there. And then, I guess, we plan out these districts. But really my point here is to say around turn 50 or so, you should really stop what you're doing and just plan your empire out. Because there's a couple of things you need to do. And I believe my first plan I actually don't end up doing, but sometimes you have to know your plan because certain wonders and districts have to be placed. So we have to get a River Valley city somewhere. So I'm circling that, I'm thinking it probably is there because there's all those hills up there. So my first plan for River Valley is up there. I'm like, okay, we'll get that up there, and we don't have to worry about it in one of those cities. And just getting those first 10 cities placed, at least the markers for them placed, is really important so that you know what you're doing. Also note it's turn 50 and we're just researching mining, so that's pretty crazy. Yeah, we have straight routes. We're about to finish these commercial hubs, and we're not going to switch that out quite yet. A little bit low on culture right now, but we'll fix that at some point. We'd like to have a bit more culture, but here we can already place these commercial hubs. We are going to build this commercial hub even in this 5th city, which is pretty cool. So you can see here, I noticed that Vietnam is sending archers our way. So I get a little nervous. I start moving my slingers down. I think I'm going to upgrade them into archers. And, it's like, they might attack us. Kind of sucks. They're a little bit mad that we had grievances against another civilization. But, if they start sending archers this way, it's you. Hey, they're coming. There's nothing else that they're doing. They're going to attack you. They're planning to attack you. So you have to prepare for it. There's a couple of things you can do to prepare for it. Notice we get surplus logistics, by the way. That's actually a change as well. That's the second pickup. I used to go for the settlers that don't take pop, but if you go for the surplus logistics, yeah, you lose pop when you settle, but you can build settlers out of like 2 or 3 cities. So your cap doesn't have to do as much as it normally would do. Or it used to have to do in the formal way I would play this game. I would basically make the cap build almost all the settlers, maybe get help with one settler from one additional city. And in that case, it absolutely needs to not lose pop, or it cannot build the settlers in time. But in this one, in this playstyle, because our other cities are going to be pretty good as well, they're going to help us build settlers. Our cap doesn't need to do everything, which is really, really convenient. And so now those trade routes are actually good. That's just why you do these strategies, because that extra 2 food on the trade routes is actually enough to make up for it, is enough to make it good. And so the first 2 things you're going to do is build a commercial hub and that government plaza in your cap. And the government plaza, I believe, gives +1 food and +1 production on those trade routes. So I think the other district gives +1 production. So you end up getting like 4 food, 3 production internal trade routes to your capital on all the cities that get them. And then, you build the first one and you send that trade route to the city that is trying to build the next trade route, and you daisy chain the trade routes together so that up until a point, so that you get all of your cities have awesome trade routes internally. And so it's just a scaling effect which picks up a lot quicker than I thought it would. It ends up being really good. And as you can see, I'm getting spearmen to try to counteract this attack which might come. And I decide to do something quite soon here. I'm not sure if I'll show it. I'm looking, I'm like, I don't know. Here's where I look at their opinion. I see that they're a little bit upset that we did generate some grievances. But overall, they don't hate us, and they actually, over time, like you more if you don't declare on them. So, if they declare on you, you just know it's never going to end. So I really want to try to prevent that war, because I don't want to be forever wars. That might be enough to ruin the game. I might survive because I have some defenses, but I don't really want to be aggressive and take cities. I really just want to kind of settle cities. I don't really need to take cities. I just need to settle them, so we want to try to avoid that war if at all possible. And I guess I'm not showing it here, but I will end up doing something which you should all do in your games if you're playing against the AI, which is just give them 100 gold. If you think they're going to attack you, just give them 100 gold. It's so worth it. You'll see here in this game, it actually prevents the attack. Here we meet the last civ and get that arrow score, which is really nice. But seriously, guys, just send them gold if you're worried they're going to attack you. Send them 100 gold. It's like +10, like +8 to +10 relations. So sometimes it can prevent them from actually attacking you. So here we go. And we're able to friend Dido, actually, who we attacked earlier, and now she wants to be my friend, so that's lovely. Apparently she doesn't mind that we took her settler. We finally get into political philosophy here. But anyway, that's my soapbox is always send 100 gold to the people who are your neighbors and who are probably going to attack you. Particularly once you can start selling Diplo favor, just give some of that money back. Totally worth it. Way more valuable than having to build enough units to protect. Way more valuable than, upgrading units. Just send them the gold. I mean, ideally you'll send them the gold and have a little bit of military, and that sometimes is enough to just prevent the attack entirely. And you've succeeded if they want to be your friend. If they want to be your friend and they become friends with you, they cannot attack you. So that's my soapbox. Here we can see the deal when it finally happens. I send the gift of 100 gold only, and look at the relations boost. Is that +8 relations? And now it's even. Now the minuses and the pluses are balanced out. So she's very unlikely to attack us now. And so, we'll see in a couple turns only, she'll want to be our friend. How crazy is that? So as you can see, I got that great merchant already. And getting those early great merchants is also really good because oftentimes they give you even more trade routes. So that great merchant was another trade route, another great reason to get those early commercial hubs. Really, really valuable. Hopefully you don't have Mali in the game because they'll also contest those, but every other civ is not going to be pushing for them as hard as you will. So really good. You can see finally got Pingala in to another city, and we'll continue rolling on. We've got some cities planned at this point. We've got Kilwa Kisawani placed, even though we're a totally interior empire. If you look at the upper right corner there, we've got a Kilwa Kisawani city, and we're gonna just chop it out because it's that good. You have to have it in the game, and so often I go through games and kind of think about it secondarily and try to get it around turn 120, and it's not there. The AI has taken it already. So this game, we're gonna make a priority of getting that wonder built around turn 100 because it can go as early as turn 100, so you have to be pretty quick about it.
These my dads make it hurt.
So you can see right here, I just unlocked feudalism, perhaps the most important civic in the game. Apparently, according to her son, this indicates we're in the middle game now. And actually, I got it boosted, which was pretty nice because I got 6 farms built. And so we're going to plug that card in and start getting builders all across the empire. We've got quite a few cities down now. Start buying builders in places. We get that Kilwa city settled, even though it's not a very good city, right? It's priority because it's Kilwa Kisawani. You have to have it. So that's why that's going there. And yeah, we're gonna just keep on going, try to get some boost when we can. See, queuing up walls there to get that boost for aqueducts, and so we can work our way down to Kilwa. And yeah, we're gonna buy that critical buy there. Buy that arena so that we can build Coliseum. You can see that's a pretty cheap Coliseum, or a pretty quick Coliseum, not cheap, but that city's doing pretty well. The second city is able to build Coliseum is pretty good. I think it hits 5 cities. Not the best ever, but also not the worst. The capital's a little bit low pop, and we don't want to waste a district on that city when we will likely need it for something else like a campus later. So sometimes building that Coliseum not in the capital can be pretty good.